Hey, what's going on YouTube? Good morning. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to 2019. Say that 20 times fast just to get used to it. We'll see how many times we miswrite that, right? How many bad checks you write trying to get, or anything else for that matter. How many times you write 2018 before 2019. Whoever writes 2018 before by the most by Friday owes the first round. We'll see how big the struggle is. But it's bound to happen a couple times. So there's your weather for today, or for the immediate near future. It's like we're bringing more wet down to you folks down there in the southeast. I don't know where all that water is going. It's been like one green blob for the last week, rotating over there. It's like, what is going on? More and more rain. Needs snow. Where y'all putting your snow at? You'd think you'd have a little bit more stocked up somewhere. But hey, we made it to 2019. Congratulations. Now we'll see how bad things go, right? See if we make it to the next one. The ominous double-double next year, the 2020. Something's bound to happen then, right? Anybody into the numerology thing? You can make anything. Follow the people that do numerology. Is like any number can mean anything to anybody. The 2020 is bound to mean something to somebody, right? So we're nice and cold out this way. It's definitely a little chilly. About somewhere around 15 or so, I think, right now for us. About the same as Minnesota. You know how that is. It's definitely January-like weather. But first check in on the morning, I was looking over at the CNBC, and that stock market's doing that stock market thing. If you were worried about it, looking to drop up to 400, just starting off here this morning, so Tommy Boy 9 can check his investments. Not looking good up front. So we got that to look forward to. More, as we call, stock market pain, right? Silver has taken quite the jump, over $1 in the last 2 weeks or so. Or if Tommy Boy is stocked up enough to counter the jump in prices. Interesting. And that bond, 2.65. Unreal. The flattening yield curve is going to kill everybody without us even knowing it. That's the one thing they're not talking about. It was like 0.05 of a, or they call it 0.5 of a basis point, is what they call it. When you look at the numbers, it's like 0.05 was the difference between the 1 year and the 10-year the other day, or something like real small. It is basically flat. And here they skew the graph. This was the most telling thing of how desperate they are to change the perception. The graph wasn't even fully adjusted, but you can see how flat it is compared to last month. 10-year yield coming in that 2.6 area, and one is like 2.60. Where's the 1 year? Can I choose 1 year somewhere? But Greg had a good breakdown over on his page. Trader's Choice, .net is it called? It had it up there, and the yield flattening yield curve is what you get. You really be the big tell of what's coming, because the inversion is upon us any moment, and then we're still due for the crash after that. So that's what I'm looking at. Let me look over here at the side chat while I get distracted. Everybody see who all made it to 2019, who decided to stay behind. See if anybody's decided to stay into 2018. Maybe that's all you have to do. As long as you write 2018 on all your documents, you just automatically stay there. You don't move forward. If that, maybe it's that easy. We got Walter Davis with us. Good morning up there. Cordelian Eris, say good morning. Welcome to chat. Stefan, how's things? You've already done a full 2 days of 2019. How's it looking? Hope you're doing good. Oh, Walter, it looks clear on the map, but it's gray. You got a lot of fog moved in over you, huh? Make that commute looking brutal, right? Smog in Paris. Oh, that's fun, right? Yeah, it doesn't show a smog level or inversion for that matter. Hey, Kyoto Survival, good morning. Walter's going to the doctor. All right. Don't get no pneumonia on us, Walter. I have to send you some natural cures or something. Send you grandpa's cough medicine. That might help you out. Barry Woods with us. Good morning. A little cold up that way. You're stuck in your own time, Killdeer, right? Walter, you're trying to be smart for a change. Yeah, avoid the pneumonia. That'll sneak up on you, right? That'll put you out of commissions quick with Midwest Preppers joined us early in the morning. What's going on? Just got back from Paris. So your clock's all messed up, huh? Did you travel during the New Year? Like do New Year's in Paris, fly back, do New Year's in America? It's all at 24 where you are. It's warmer up where you are, Barry, than it is here. It's like 15 or so here. Yeah, the SHTF is definitely happening down in Paris, though, as they had the more protests over before New Year's, right, Stefan? Be interesting to get a report on that. But yeah, they had more protests over there in Paris for the New Year's or New Year's Day as well, I believe. I don't know if those headlines have faded away already. 24-hour expiration, right? It's hard to say here. I don't see anything up front, but there's one out there somewhere. There'll be more for the coming weekend. It looks like the French are not backing down to anybody. Doesn't look like. They need all the money they need, huh? Midwest because the tourism's down. That makes sense. People are probably struggling, especially in the central areas where they usually probably do quite well because pretty much everybody goes to that central area of Paris where those protests are going. And now they're getting no commerce, no foot traffic pretty much during the high volume weekends when the business is probably best. And there's Delaware Patriot making a surprise entrance. Welcome, sir. How's things out there in your state? Delaware, I did a video yesterday and I haven't watched it yet. So I did see you post one, Delaware, but I haven't watched it yet. So I apologize. Otherwise, I could probably do a whole chat just about that video. Mr. Cogburn has joined us. Good morning. Maybe a little chilly out your way. Thousands march in Hong Kong. Wow, that's a bold move, protesting in China. You want to end your lifespan, that's a good way to do it. Chinese won't mess around. We'll click on that. Check that in a minute. But first up this morning, I saw an interesting article. It was actually on the Weather Channel, but it was talking the migration from Hurricane Maria, supposedly confirmed by census data, but so I would consider it anecdotal, but they probably consider it. So more than 125,000 people left Puerto Rico. So 125,000 people executed a leaving, never coming back plan of some sort. This is between July 1, 2017 and July 1, 2018. Now, I'm not sure how they can tie it to the hurricane necessarily, other than it having just being in there in that time window prior to cause the movement. But interesting, the fastest growing states were Nevada and Idaho. As long as they're not coming from California, we might be all right. But they're saying new data confirms a mass migration from Puerto Rico in the wake of Hurricane Maria, a steep decline in New York's population, which is kind of weird. You'd think all the Puerto Ricans would go to New York. It seems like there's a huge population of Puerto Ricans in New York. Puerto Rico has seen a steady decline of population over the last decade, and Hurricane Maria in September of 2017 further impacted that loss, both before and during the recovery period. The report also noted that the state of New York lost an estimated 48,510 residents during that period, the largest decline in population in the country. Okay, yeah, it's not tying the New York loss to, that's not tied to Maria. But 9 other states saw a decrease in population, including Illinois, West Virginia, Louisiana, Hawaii, Mississippi, Alaska, Connecticut, and Wyoming. Why would Wyoming lose population, but yet Idaho and Nevada gain? That's kind of interesting. So this is overall demographics. The biggest thing is the population loss from Puerto Rico is from the hurricane. Didn't Hawaii have a hurricane in that time frame too? But biggest consideration is people will move when there are disasters. It'd be interesting to see what the California numbers are like after these big fires. So according to the Census Bureau, Nevada and Idaho were the biggest gainers during that period. Both increased by 2.1% from July 1 to 2018. And are followed by Utah, Arizona, Florida, and Washington. And probably most of that is probably Californians, if I'm to guess, but just a little interesting note on the movement of population. We talk about it moving from Honduras to other places. Well, it's happening here as well. I don't know if we notice it here big time. You see California plates on the road, new during that morning commute. You can tell. Iron Witch moved in here. Good morning. Okay, Rooster, you can move to Nevada if you want to. Yeah, but for every one of you, we get 10 of the other types. And they all go to Vegas too and drag everything down with us. That's the biggest problem. Stefan's posting for a second job to control the future border wall to Mexico. You're going to be the head wall person in charge, Stefan? Kildare says, get out of New York. Yeah, it was interesting. The article said it was upstate New York that lost the population, which I don't know how they can get that detailed. But it says the greatest loss came from upstate, and the majority of the outbound residents relocated to other states. I mean, how do they know that many details without doing? I mean, what kind of surveys are they doing to determine that? I know they do track moving van rentals and leases, moving company data. There's some of their data they use to track going to other states for residential purposes. They don't. I think they remove business data, like businesses that are moving, and just personal home movers or stuff like that. I think is what they track to get some of this. But I guess everybody's not leaving New York City apparently, which don't make no sense. When you talk about leaving somewhere, you think LA or New York City, Chicago, etc. Like I said, Illinois has lost population. It's interesting that Wyoming did, but right next door in Idaho, they're gaining. Maybe that decrease in oil prices. Well, actually, that's when the oil prices are going up still, or not up, but they were maintaining back. That was, 6+ months ago when it concluded. What Wyoming was going on, that they lost, people needed to leave. But there it is. Just FYI, if you're thinking about moving, knowing where everybody else is going kind of helps a little bit, and knowing that in a disaster, people will move because they're going to be forced to. Kildare thinks people are moving to Missouri because of lower cost of living. Right, Kildare, and it's a pretty good prime. I mean, the prepper side of it, Missouri is a pretty popular place for the prepper community, homestead community. Pretty good water access, all that good stuff. Pretty good area to move to. You're the top of the Ozarks, all that good stuff. Seems to be quite popular. Smoking Locust is with us. Good morning, Smolo. What's going on? Which says immigrants are legal or otherwise are primarily urban dwellers. They can only exist where goods and services are provided. No one moves out here where you live. Nothing except out there except for you, right? That's generally the way it goes, right? The only people that usually move into rural areas are rich folks that buy up like 1,000 acres and put up a huge house. Build a $5 million house on 1,000 acres or something, or that causes a lot of attention in a lot of rural areas. It's like the Sun Valley, Idaho area. Sun Valley, Idaho was just bought out from everybody, out from under their noses back in the 80s and stuff. And they turn around and it's pretty much not like Idaho at all. It's kind of going up to Lake Tahoe. It's a whole different world up there. Whole different class of people have to live in Lake Tahoe. You ain't living at Lake Tahoe on minimum wage, that's for sure. They don't have a lower class. You better be upper middle class and plus just to get by. But moving on, check back in on the stock market. Should have opened. Kicks off 2019 with a drop of more than 350 points. All right, we're getting close to that low we had last week. Again, looking at that trend, 2,000 today. Maybe probably won't drop that much, but that big drop like that off the bat doesn't help anybody's morale. But that bond market's got the signal. If they're paying attention, drop everything you got and hold on, because the bond market is telling you it's coming. Load is it? What's going on here? See how they're propagandizing this to write it off. Kind of blame it on something. I guess a $25 million Mega Millions jackpot that I missed out on. Dang it. I guess me and Rooster aren't retiring. Unless, Rooster, you won and you're just holding back on us. Let's drop over here. Look like they're going to try to rim on the Chinese. Disappointing economic data from China and Europe and lingering concerns over global trade. The markets, so they say. Moves Wednesday come after a private sector survey showed manufacturing activity in the world's second largest economy in the first months. China's Market Manufacturing Purchasers Index for December dipped to 49.7 from 50.2 in November. Eurozone manufacturing remained at its lowest level since February of 2016. The data also showed confidence about the future hit a fresh 6-year low. Worried about a possible economic slowdown this year. I think, that's a good thing to be concerned about. It's probably coming. Everybody that dropped, Tesla dropped. That's a big thing around here. Tesla's going to end up leaving Nevada holding the bag. I can just see it. Talk about migrant move here for Tesla jobs. Tesla shuts that plant down. This place is going to be a wasteland. It's going to be like a desert all over again. It'll be fairly significant. But Tesla's down after weaker than expected delivery numbers for the first quarter, and they dropped the price on their Model S, it said. So that's what's going on with the markets there, and starting the new year off with the market downturn is never motivating anybody. While the getting's good. Rooster, you'd make it just fine. Oh, goodness. That'd be a good place to move if you can afford it, Rooster. Can I come up and visit? Kumbaya around the fire. Let me catch up here on the side chat. See what I'm missing. Midwest Prepper says if taxes go up much more here, he's going to quit and switch sides for handouts and support. Yeah, if there's a certain breaking point for everybody where it's more cost effective to just take the handout, right? Probably not quite there yet, though. Hey, Dad on YouTube. Good morning. How you doing? How's things? Dad on YouTube says local news this morning was talking about prescription drug prices going up for 2019. I'm sure that's tied to the Affordable Care Act in some way, somehow. Till you get full repeal of that mess, and we're not going to get. I mean, nothing's going to. It's not going to correct back the market until with all that control that goes on in the medical markets. And Stefan's having a side conversation with somebody else, and I'm not tracking what you guys are talking about. But all right, no worries. All right, Dad did a good. Dad's down to end. Dad did a good video about his predictions for 2019, talking about doesn't expect this shutdown to go beyond February because of the tie with the SNAP benefits, food stamps, etc. That's a good point. That's definitely something the Democrats can't let linger, except to gain political points. But February 1, if people aren't getting their SNAP benefits, it's going to cause a whole other country. For sure. That was a good video, but Dad put out, I guess it was Monday. I don't know, it was right before the New Year, New Year's Day, maybe. But definitely get you thinking. About food riots and people rioting in the street and stuff, taking away food stamps or not having them available will definitely hurt. But I think they could still continue on with the rest of the government shutdown just because they can pass the SNAP benefits separate on their own. Which everybody would probably get together and agree on that. I was surprised that they took them out of the Farm Bill. That was good that you brought that up, because they usually are tied into the Farm Bill, but that's kind of odd. But they could just do the separate bill just to fund that alone, and everybody can sing Kumbaya how they help the little guy. But if they're going to try to score points politically, they could also drag it out and say, look, Trump cares more about his wall than you. And drag it out and see how that plays and do some polling. And once they get their polling done, decide whether or not they want to try to pass the food stamps with the wall funding or not. You fight the wall, depending on what they're going to always go off polling data to see how it plays with the public, you know. Yeah, meds are expensive, Killdeer, for everybody. It's just insane. You can't do it, then the question is, SNAP already by itself, other than to use it as a political lever tool, you know? keep people angry at the other side, keep people angry at each other. It's true. The yellow vest protests have spread. Belgium, Netherlands, a little bit in Germany. The British, they kind of adopted the Brexit people, kind of took on the vest as well, but they're all kind of fighting the same globalist, uh, thing, and it's definitely precedent. We were talking about that the other day, back last month. Like, you can't find this in the Western media hardly at all. Very difficult. Kind of like the South Africa thing. They keep it under the radar as much as possible. Rooster says, I heard there are work requirements for food stamps now. I think that was the proposal, and that may have been why it got held up, because that was what the administration wanted, a certain level of work requirements for certain people to get it. And I think certain states have already passed those requirements as well, Rooster. I think it depends on where it is as well. Certain states have requirements before getting those benefits as well, I think. But maybe that's why they held them up. Democrats fighting for your right to not work to get free money. And not a whole lot standing out there. Let's check over. Oh, here's that Chinese story we clicked on earlier. Thousands march in Hong Kong. Don't see that every day. Speaking of yellow vest protest, New Year's Day march included calls to restart stalled democratic reforms and to fight political repression, it says. Organizer of the protest march says it has been ordered by officials to prevent they're preventing them from displaying pro-independence banners outside government headquarters. So this is in Taiwan? Or in Hong Kong, sorry. Not Taiwan, Hong Kong. So these protests were in Hong Kong. Thousands of demonstrators marched to demand full democracy, fundamental rights, and even independence from China, in the face of what many see as a clampdown by the Communist Party on local freedoms. You think the Hong Kong people would have figured out they probably needed to protest back in '99, back when the UK turned them back over to the Chinese. A little late at this point, but good luck fighting your way back. Quote here, I cannot see why our freedoms are limited once we step in the gateway of the forecourt are the streets. We march along, not under the region of the reign of the government. That's a kind of awkwardly translated statement. Says they will not retreat under government suppression. That's when they bring out the tanks, right? I don't know that the China much. They are what we always thought they were, right? So the Hong Kong independence movement was part of that. Independence leader Bajio Leong, who said several of his members had been harassed by triads or gangsters before the march. Organizers say the march drew 5,500 people. Police said 3,200 people were on the streets at the march's peak. Government numbers aren't going to match. That's out of China. Checking in inside chat. Hey, Billy Bird Outdoors has joined us. Good morning. There you go. Paradox, Dad. Government imposes work requirement for food stamp, but then the government shuts down your job. The irony, right? Right, Billy Bird. The basic income agenda. You got a nice sunrise over the mountain there, Rooster. Yeah. Checking the side chat on down. Delaware Patriot says they need to personalize food stamps somehow to the individual that receives them. Then require ID to use. People sell their food stamps to others and make money off them. It's true. There's a black market on food stamps, no doubt about it. Between welfare fraud and other food stamp fraud, people either they'll often sell it to others or trade it to others for things. People that don't, a lot of people get the benefits that don't need them. That's probably where you get a lot of those stories about the lady in a Lexus using food stamps at the grocery store. Get a big old load of groceries with prime rib and wine and stuff, and go out and load it all up in a Lexus. And it's like, we wonder what's wrong with the country. Moving on down. Wes S is with us this morning. Good morning. Government job used to mean digging ditches and making roads. Now it means taking crap and spreading it around. Right? Taking other people's stuff from them is the kind of the government jobs program these days. Yeah, the job of government agent hasn't changed in throughout history. Starts off as, hey, we're here to help, and ends up pitting neighbor against neighbor and crushing everybody's morale and initiative. Wes, you forgot you were lurking. Right, and if you get point, Rooster, if people can't trade them, if they take away the personalization, whoever has the food stamp will just go to the store and buy what somebody else wants and then give it to them later. I mean, there's always going to be a way around a system like that. But like I say, the free market will always find a way. That's what the black market is. The black market is the free market. People always find a way to get goods and services that they want in order to survive. And people will provide services as needed to survive. Hey, Poison Stinger, good morning. How are you doing this morning? Joining us, checking in here. You're still in Arizona, right? You're really tired of corrupt people continuously getting away with stuff? Yes, the rich getting richer. Those in power always getting away with it, right? Look, you had McCain down there for how long? Prime example. Yeah, it's brutal, no doubt. Right, that Dad, there's a good point. Taxman used to be a risky. Yeah, revenuers used to be a good, used to be a real risky job. Remember the song Rocky Top was all about the revenuers. Yeah, when the days were that they feared going into certain areas was better. Things were better then than they are when they have no fear of going anywhere. But now it's easier for them to hide their identity and hide who they are. They walk amongst us. And yeah, that's a good point. The revenuers should be a lot more concerned about their well-being than they are. But that's how they pit the regular people against each other to, protect the government agent types, because it can't be the government's fault because they're looking out for my best interest, right? Kind of like Wall Street. We don't want Wall Street to drop down. They're looking out for my best interest. Oh, man. And Billy Bird brings up a good point. I did see that article. Was it New Year's or the day before New Year's? Coming out of the weekend there, New York Police are allowing Muslims and a Muslim community patrol to patrol and enforce Sharia law. The end is amongst us. Like that. That just makes you want to. Well, I wouldn't do it in New York City, that's for sure, because I wouldn't go to New York. Makes you want to go through walk through a Muslim neighborhood and try to let them try to enforce those laws on you for walking out in public, well, no matter what it is. I don't know. Find your pet pig, walk through the neighborhood, something like that. Yeah, let them try it. See what happens. Iron, you hear a bunch of Cali peeps are moving to Arizona? Yeah, that's probably true. If they're not moving to Nevada, they're going to Idaho, Nevada, all up and down, Utah. A bacon sandwich, Dad? Yeah, that would work too. I think a pet pig would be more appropriate, though. But yeah, that's bad news there. Let's go over here, refresh our map. About time to wrap it up. See what else is going on out there. Land of Landonland has joined us. Good morning. How's it going? It's a little chill your way. It's about 15 here. But you probably got more snow than we do. You guys have been getting weather. We haven't. Right, Killdeer. It's breakfast time. Time to get something in. But you guys be safe. Have a good day. Thanks for checking into the chat. Thanks for dropping by. We made it to 2019. Again, the first one. Whoever writes 2018 on your checks or otherwise, the most between now and Friday owes us the first round on Friday. So we do this on the honor system. Whoever can't transition to 2019 owes the rest of us. So just we'll check back in on Friday and see who's not catching up with the program. It's 5 there? Are you serious? It's 5 degrees? Wow, that's colder than here for sure. That's pretty cold, Wes. I don't think it's quite as cold as in Chris's place, but if your gnome is trying to build a fire in the bird bath, he's got good survival skills, though, at least. That's good to hear. You got to train up everybody. Well, yeah, Poison Sticker. It's the only example I had, though. But yeah, wherever you write 2018 instead of 2019 on something, I don't know. Whatever you write the year on, right? Yeah, checks. What are checks? When's the last time I wrote a check? Man, yeah, that doesn't happen very often the way it used to be. All right, so y'all have a good day. Get this 2019 started off right. Thanks for checking in, and we will see you guys Friday, if not elsewhere on the YouTubes between now and then. So thanks for checking in. Live free.